Hello everyone, thank you for watching. My name is Siebe, and as you might have seen in the title, I'm quitting Cortune. So this may come as a surprise for many of you, but I actually thought about this for a long time, and I'll obviously explain why in a second. But for those who don't know, Cortune is an application that turns heart rate into music for performance enhancement. So, a little context. I started running more and more and more, and over time, I stumbled upon a soft pain in my right knee, and it went away after a day. So I thought by myself, okay, it should be fine, right? But as I ran more and did more activities with like running or jumping or whatever, the pain increased and it went like pretty bad. Like I felt like inside the knee, like when you fell, like you fall on the ground and you touch your knee, you can feel where the pain is because it's a bruise. But I didn't feel where the pain is, but it just like it was inside of my knee. I couldn't really say where the pain was coming from. So at one point it became really bad, and I went to see an expert in this, and they took two scans, an MRI scan and an RX, where you're looking at right now, and they concluded that my right kneecap is higher than my left one. Normally it's like almost aligned, but for me that's not the case. And this means that my left leg is way more dominant than my right one. And I shouldn't be doing sports with running or jumping. So my app I was building resonates with people who run. It's literally my target group. And I am not a part of it anymore because the doctors literally told me I shouldn't run anymore ever. It's not that drastic though, like okay, it's not that nice. I can't run anymore, but I can still cycle, I can still swim, I can do many things. It's not like I'm incapable of doing anything anymore, but like these two, especially these two, I shouldn't be doing anymore, which means I don't really have a relationship anymore with my my group, right? Um, I did 25 interviews, um, and after these interviews and almost 9 hours of data, I decided to stop. Well, this is not the only reason, and to add a little extra context, I actually forgot here. Like they also took a picture of this, right? And my Krista Elicia is also different. Like the height is different. As you can see, this part is higher than this part. Um, so yeah, I'm I'm basically not that aligned. If we speak of physiology, right? So after all these interviews and reading a book and reading different sources and watching videos, I decided to stop. Well, this isn't all for nothing. I learned a lot of interviewing, right? Like how to talk to people, how to not bias around your solution and actually listen to them to know what the real problem is. Yeah, I just decided to stop. Um, I didn't like decide in one day, like, okay, I'm stopping. But after I got the results of this and I journaled a lot for a week, thinking about what actually interests me, I I realized I don't really care about this too much. Like it's not that I'm reading peer-reviewed paper studies in my free time or watching YouTube videos about running. I don't run even myself anymore. Like I don't give a fuck. I don't care anymore. It's that simple. And then I was thinking like, where do I care about then? Like, what is something I actually care about? And we'll get to that in a moment. But first, I want to introduce this with a little story. So it's something my mother told me. I can't remember the moment itself because I was 3 to 4 years old. But my mother told me this a lot of times. So the story goes as follows. So I'm in school and the kids are playing on the playground, and one of the kids like slap. It falls really hard on the ground, right? It starts hysterically crying like wah wah whatever, like. And what normal kids would do, they would go up to the kid and show empathy, take care of the kid, be there for the kid so the kid feels better. But what I was doing, I was hysterically laughing, like zero empathy, like a devil child basically. Like I was a demon, and I was the only child like behaving like this. Like they were all confused. Said the teacher. Like the teacher was like, "What is happening right now? Like what is happening right now?" I don't know if the teacher was like that, but that's how I imagine it, right? And after that, they called my parents and they said like, "Something right with this kid." And fast forward to 2008, 4 years after I was born, I went to the hospital and they took a brain scan. And I'm going to show you this here. I'm not a doctor. I don't know even what this says, but I want to show you. I want to show you because it simply looks cool, right? It's my brain when I was 4 years old. Like, it's pretty cool. Um, so yeah, they did a brain scan and many other tests on me, and after some time they realized when I was 4 years old that I was on the spectrum. I had autism spectrum disorder, and this made a lot of sense for my parents. Like the pieces of the puzzle, they started to fall in each other, like things I did, they made sense at one point. And they always told me like when I grew up, like I was a nice child, I was a kind child, but it took a lot of energy for my parents to to raise me because I was so different. They didn't know how to act in some scenarios. Like I acted so different than my brother on so many different things. So they realized I needed help, and they got me into like psychologist, but for like the younger children, and a lot of assistance I received, many things. But as you can see here, like they tried things that I'm not that standing behind. For example, they tell, or I don't know if they do anymore, but they used to tell me that I was unique, I was special because I had autism. Like in my head then and still, it's either I'm not special and no one is, or everyone is special. It's not that I'm special and the rest isn't. And they thought they were like helping me, and trying to explain what autism is, but they did a terrible job at that. And when I think critically about it, now that I grew older, I don't agree. It's inefficient, and I'm 100% sure I can do way better than that. So yeah, after thinking a lot, I realized I want to help children with autism. Like the little child I was myself, I got assistance and I got help, but per my saying, it wasn't that efficient. And when I think about autism, I've learned a lot about it myself too. I read articles, I read books, I read many things about it. I want to keep learning on it. Like, I actually want to be exceptional in helping children with autism, and the parents too, right? Like, the parents also struggle with this. Like, the current frameworks, they're not that good. They could be better. Like, of course, there are some people, like some mentors or some coaches or some people in clinics that actually know what autism is, but most of them don't even have it themselves. For example, people working in drug addiction clinics, they work there for 20 or 30 years, and they can't tell on the street when someone is a drug addict. Like, they can't sense it, they can't feel it. But people who used to be addicted to drugs or still are, they can sense it when someone is like using drugs, or not on the drugs itself, but just a drug addict in general. And I feel it's kind of the same with people with autism. Of course, like they still can help, but the relationship is less strong, and it's a relationship me myself has, like with this cow. Like, you can see we are connected deeply, and I think I can help children like that too. It's something I think I'd feel way more fulfilled in than, for example, like people who go for runs, right? Like, as I showed you here, I don't care about these people, and I do about these people. So yeah, that was basically it for today. You might expect some new videos coming about like autism itself later in the future, and not anymore about Cortune. I'm I'm really grateful for this. I enjoyed working on this. I learned so much from it. But to stick with it for 5 to 10 years, which is the time it takes to scale up something like this and actually make it profitable, it's a long time. And I want to do something I find fun to do. I get more fulfillment out, and that was basically it. So thank you kindly for listening to my story and why I changed, and hopefully I see you in the next video. Thank you.